Hello, thank you for joining me today. If this is your first time here, I certainly appreciate you giving me this opportunity. Please be sure to check out some of my other videos and maybe consider a subscription to the channel. For those that are returning, once again, thank you for your continued support. It does really mean a lot to me. If you want to help me out for free, all you have to do is leave a like or comment. I do read all the comments and I do try to respond back to most of them as well. Now, in my last video, you saw I was getting the 320,000 mile Honda Accord ready for a road trip from North Carolina to Texas. Originally, that trip was going to go from Charlotte, North Carolina to East Texas, and then was going to drive to Lubbock, West Texas, which would have been another 400 miles, and then a trip all the way back to North Carolina after that. I had a business appointment came up that I had to take care of in back in North Carolina, cut the trip a little bit short, so the Lubbock part did not take place. All told, the trip ended up being right around 2,000 miles. Now, after all of that work I did on the car, I hope maybe some of you are a little bit interested to see how I did. Let's take a ride and I'll show you. To be honest, taking a car that I'd rebuilt the engine on myself, I was pretty nervous about that for this distance on this road trip. And one of the things that made me even more so nervous is that my girl was going to be with me. And it's one thing to break down the side of the road and I've just got to worry about me, but I don't want to do it in the middle of the night with a female travel companion. But after talking to her about it, she was very encouraging and she wanted to do it also. She was excited about the adventure that might be in there. So we decided to go ahead and go for it. Now, we left out of Charlotte, North Carolina, about 3:30 in the afternoon on I-85 going south to Georgia. Now, that put us in Atlanta, Georgia at about 8:30 that night. Now, I don't know how many of you have driven through I-85 in Atlanta, Georgia, but I'm here to tell you it is a madhouse. I've done that drive before. I was not looking forward to it. So when we finally got down there, one of the first things that happens, there's a wreck that's got the entire roadway blocked. So here we are now in stop traffic, inching forward, inch at a time, manual transmission. It's still 90 degrees outside. The AC's blowing the whole way. And at this point, I'm really glad that I had a new radiator and I'd taken the time to put those new hoses on the car as well. Kept one eye on the temperature gauge the entire time, did not move. So the car actually performed perfectly going through that stop and go traffic like that in that heat. So after we got through that, got on I-20, got out of Georgia and went into Alabama, it's starting to get dark, which is fine with me. I prefer to drive at night myself. And we had already made the decision we're going to drive straight through, only bathroom breaks. We didn't stop at a restaurant or anything, just went at the rest stops and whatnot to use the restrooms. So got through Alabama, get into Mississippi. I don't know, it's 2:30 in the morning, and I'm here to tell you, if you've never driven I-20 in Mississippi at night, it is darker than a well digger's butt out there. That is no street lights, no nothing, just miles and miles of straight black road. So finally get through Mississippi to go into Louisiana, and now here we are at the Mississippi River. I've never been west of the Mississippi, never seen the Mississippi River before, so I was looking forward to that. But as you can see here in this footage, not much to see other than me going across a dark bridge. I didn't get to see much of anything. Now we're in Louisiana. Haven't stopped for anything other than a restroom break. It's now 4:30 in the morning, and I swear at some point I saw pixies riding unicorns across the road. I was that done, and my brain had just turned to clay at that point. But we make it to Texas. Here's the welcome to Texas sign. We reach our destination. It's about 8:30 in the morning their time, which is actually 9:30 back on the East Coast. So that put the entire travel time at about 18 hours. Did not rest the car at all during that period. Got there, checked the oil, checked the coolant, and that didn't appear to have lost a drop. The car performed perfectly the entire time. While we were in Texas, one of the highlights was I got to do some crappie fishing at Lake Fork, Texas. This is a huge lake. I do bass tournaments out here and all. It's a beautiful area. I won't give you a whole slideshow of the entire vacation, but here are a couple of shots, a little bit of video. It's a beautiful area out there. If you've never seen that and you're looking for a good fishing trip, I would highly recommend it. Caught quite a few crappie, and even this one croaker right here, not a bad croaker as far as they go. Now, you did have to cut the trip a little bit short, like I explained earlier, but the drive back was uneventful. It was as uneventful as the drive there. Only this time I got to see the Mississippi River in the light of day. So now I can say I've laid my eyes on that part of the United States. Here's a couple of short clips of where we stopped at the fort there. I forget the name of it. It'll be in the video here. It's a Civil War historical site where some battles have taken place, and brand had actually made it all the way down to that part of the South during the Civil War. So again, not much going on, not much footage to show you. Get into South Carolina, getting ready to get back to North Carolina. If any of you visit that area, there's a huge peach. You can see it here in this video. You tell me what that looks like to you. I know what I think it looks like. So we finally get back to Charlotte about 12:30 that night. Just get the car parked and go in and just die for the next 10 hours. My brain had pretty much turned to mush. Again, we didn't stop for anything other than bathroom breaks. And again, the car performed perfectly. Get up the next morning, I go out, I check the oil, I check the coolant again. Everything is still topped off. Here is a picture of the odometer before and after. So you can see it was just under 2,000 miles that we had done. Since we cut out that little part that was going to go to Lubbock, but that was going to be 400 miles to Lubbock and 400 back to where we were staying in East Texas. So that didn't take place. I'll also say that we only had to stop for gas, I think 3 times going and 3 times coming back, and that's not letting the car get much blow. Right around a quarter tank. I don't let it go much lower than that. And calculating the gas mileage, again, we're running air conditioner the entire time, 70 to 75 miles an hour on the interstate, and doing a rough calculation of the gas mileage, it was getting about 32 miles to the gallon, which is pretty incredible considering the age of this car. So let me get this car parked. We'll go ahead and finish up this video. So there you have it. Some random guy on the internet rebuilds his old tired Honda Accord with some basic hand tools in his garage, and now I have a running, driving car that's probably pretty close to how well it performed when it was brand new, with some minor imperfections. So there's not much left to do with this car now, other than a paint job, of course. The body is very straight. It has a couple of mild dings and things that need to be knocked out, sanded, repainted, and I may just do that. I may not. I'm not exactly sure yet. But since there's not much left to do, that's probably the last time I'm going to have any kind of real video about it on my channel. So to finish this up, I'll steal Eric O's line from over at South Main Auto Channel. If I can do it, then you can do it. And trust me, if I can do it, then you really can do it. I appreciate each and every one of you that come along this far, and I'll see you in the next video.